Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first proper episode here at Below the 92. I am Ryan, and of course, the other host is Will, and we are going to be in this episode predicting Game Week 46 across the National League, National League North, and National League South. There are 3 titles up for grabs. There are 7 teams involved in a relegation scrap in the National League North as well. It's all to play for in each league still. 9 teams all fighting for promotion places, really, in the National League South as well. But yeah, Will, do you want to get us started?
So we're starting with the National League South, and we'll start with Worthing FC versus Ebbsfleet United. I think that this will be a 2-all draw. A Desmond. I think that Worthing at home are probably going to push a bit more, and but I think Ebbsfleet can also just match that at certain points of the match in crucial moments. And I think either team can win this match, but I'll go with 2-all.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly an interesting game. I think going into it, it is first versus sixth, so a massive game to get us started. You've got Brad Dollahan, I think his name is, who's top scorer in the league playing for Worthing, who have scored 97 goals so far in the league, which is the most by a significant margin. Obviously, they're first in the league, and they did actually lose last time out, which was a bit of a shock. They lost to Maidstone, who, with that win, are still pushing for potential promotion, but we'll come to Maidstone later. But my prediction, I do think that Ebbsfleet are going to manage to get the win here, and I think it's going to be Worthing 1 and Ebbsfleet United 2, which would mathematically secure Ebbsfleet in the playoffs, and it's definitely going to be a bit nervy for Worthing.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that. Worthing, yeah, might.
It's such a hard one to league to predict, because last season literally everything changed on the final day, and I was thinking, oh, Worthing are easily going to win, but then they lost to Maidstone, and now they have Ebbsfleet, who are in an even better position, and I just don't see them taking the win, unfortunately, and yeah, the pressure from behind is going to be insane.
They're gonna have to hope results go their way then for that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see Worthing in the National League, but we'll come to how our predictions have ended. But the next game, we've got our fixtures in different orders because, of course, we do.
Yeah,
Teething problems, we'll call it, yeah?
yeah. We should have talked about this beforehand.
Yes. Well, we should have discussed which way to do our predictions. So, I have... The next game is Weston-super-Mare versus Dorking Wanderers. Another insane playoff battle. Weston-super-Mare going into it in 7th place on 77 points, and Dorking in 3rd on 78. Literally one position between the two of them. Weston-super-Mare can technically finish 2nd, and Dorking can finish as low as 8th. And bearing in mind that Weston have been on a good run of form, unbeaten in their last 4, whereas Dorking haven't picked up a point in their last 4, I am going to go with Weston-super-Mare 3, Dorking Wanderers 1.
Okay, so I've gone for Weston-super-Mare 2, Dorking Wanderers 1.
Ooh.
I think the home advantage is going to help Weston-super-Mare quite a bit. I think they're going to manage the key moments a little bit better than Dorking. But small margins win your big games, and this is a huge game.
Yeah, Of course, the loser risking not even making it into the playoffs, despite they're only 1 point apart. Dorking are in third, and I mean it's crunch time for both teams. The perfect scenario for them is a draw, really. Do
Yeah.
you think there could be some games like that, given that Dorking, whilst mathematically they can win the league, they would need. I mean, Worthing have a goal difference of 45, and Dorking have a goal difference of 17. Like, let's be real, that's not happening.
Maybe
So do you
Dorking,
reckon?
maybe Dorking take it a bit more cautious, knowing that they can secure it with a draw. But um, I don't think Mark White's going to do that. I think he's a,
I mean,
I think he's a winner and not a drawer.
well, at the minute he's a loser. He's lost four in
Well,
a row, but
yeah, but I don't think he'll want to play for a draw.
no, that's. I'm pretty sure he said something once about how that's the absolute worst thing a manager can do. He said a lot of stuff, hasn't he, Mark White? But
We don't
he's
talk.
he's popular for that reason, I think. So, Will, do you want to take us on to the next game?
So, next game's Tonbridge Angels versus Torquay United. And I've gone for another 2-1 victory for Torquay United.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think
Any
Torquay.
particular reason?
I think Torquay have a bit more quality than Tonbridge, and that will help them edge this game.
Yeah, I mean, Torquay, a team that used to play in the Football League back in the, I want to say, 2000s. In fact, I think even into the 2010s they're in the Football League, because I think they were there when Aldershot were. But I mean, yeah, 2-1 win for Torquay definitely seems reasonable. They did lose their last game though, and Tonbridge Angels have won their last two, which is why I have gone for a 2-2 draw between Tonbridge Angels and Torquay United. I think as well, when you look at the away form, Torquay haven't been the strongest in the league. They've definitely been up there, but not the strongest. But then again, Tonbridge being at home, not particularly, but they have won, sorry, 4 of their last 5 home games. I think the only loss coming to Ebbsfleet. So that is why I have gone for 2 apiece. Moving on to our next game, then we have got Slough Town against KSI's Dagenham and Redbridge. It's a weird game, that one, I think, because Slough haven't been in the best of form recently. There was a point where they were looking like they could potentially push for playoffs, and then the same for Dagenham and Redbridge, and then they've fallen off as well. I mean, yeah, 2 points in their last 4. In their last 4, Slough 1 point in their last 5. It's not looking good for either team, but I have got Dagenham just edging it. Slough Town 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 2.
Well, I've gone opposite. I've gone
Ooh.
for a Slough 2-1 victory again, another 2-1. But I think Slough win this one. I think it'll be a slight upset, but with them being at home, I think it'll make it a bit awkward for Dagenham and Redbridge to be able to capitalise. And yeah, Dagenham will still look dangerous, so that's why I think they'll get a goal. But I think Slough edge this one.
Yeah, you did mention Dagenham away then, and their only away win in their last 5 away games is against Farnborough, and yeah, Farnborough almost got relegated, so
Yeah,
not a good look for KSI's. I mean, that's the problem. That Dagenham and Redbridge are a historic team that played in the EFL, but now everybody just knows them because of KSI.
yeah.
And I am sure we will come to that at some point in the future, in future episodes. But do you want to take us on to the next game, Will?
Right, so next game is Horsham versus Chippenham, and I've gone for a 1-all draw in that one. Um, based on the form. I think it's
Yeah,
pretty even. Chippenham already relegated from the league. Um, Horsham having nothing to play for. I think they'll both be on the beach already. So that's why I think it'll be a 1-1 draw.
yeah. I mean, I was thinking a draw, to be fair, because their forms have been so similar, and in fact, I did go for a draw, but I went for 2-all. I mean, I know Horsham haven't really. I mean, they've got a -2 goal difference. They've been pretty even all season. They've not scored that many more than games played. Chippenham have conceded a lot of goals. 77 goals conceded, which is one of the most in the league. But yeah, I mean, on form, they're pretty much even. There's not much between them. I mean, Horsham, their only win in the last 5 was against Dorking. Chippenham beat AFC Totton. But yeah, I think it's sort of a nothing game, isn't it? There's
Yeah,
nothing for
nothing.
either team.
Yeah, nothing for either team.
I mean, Chippenham can finish 21st, and Horsham.
Oh, that helps.
Oh, Horsham are guaranteed 15th, no matter what happens, anyways. So, yeah, it's really, really nothing. But moving on then to our next game, which is a big match, another entirely top 7 match. It's oh no, not top 7, but a playoff fight. Is Hornchurch versus Maidenhead United, and I mean Hornchurch sort of leapfrogged their way into second place. It was a win over Chippenham, and it did rely on Dorking losing to Bath, but still Hornchurch in prime position to win the league if Worthing slip up. However, Maidenhead are in brilliant form at the minute, unbeaten in the last 5. They may have only beaten Dover 1-0, and it's been very, sort of slim winning margins recently, apart from that 3-0 win over Bath. But I do see this game really just ruining Hornchurch's season, and it's going to be Hornchurch 2, Maidenhead 4.
Oh, well. I've also got Hornchurch getting 2 goals, but I've got Maidenhead getting 0.
Ooh,
So I've gone for a Hornchurch 2-0 win. I don't think it's going to be a good performance from Hornchurch, but I think it'll be gritty. I think they'll manage it in a good way. They'll go 1 up, and then Maidenhead will have to attack at the end, and that's when they get the second goal, in my opinion. And that's why I've gone for a Hornchurch 2-0 win.
yeah, and to be fair, a win is all Hornchurch can do because they are the
Yeah.
chasing team, and as well, if they slip up, they can fall all the way down to 7th. And if they were to finish 7th, they would not, even if they got to the final, they would not play a single playoff game at home. So they really need to try and stay in at least the top 3, if not gain automatic promotion.
Right. So next up, Hemel Hempstead versus Salisbury. And,
Salisbury.
oh, well, it's got an I in it. Salisbury. Right. Hemel Hempstead versus Salisbury. Um, this one, I'm going to go for a 1-all draw.
Ooh.
I don't think either side really breaks away from this one. They'll probably create chances, but I don't think they'll create good chances consistently enough to dominate the match. So I think it will just be a 1-all draw. Nothing too dramatic.
Yeah, I mean, I can see something like that happening. I mean, Hemel Hempstead have won their last 2. they are still technically able to win the league, but their goal difference is 38 worse off than Worthing. So unless there's a 38 goal turnaround, which is, best case scenario, 19-0 win for Hemel Hempstead, 19-0 loss for Worthing, Hemel cannot win the league.
Well,
So
they still won't win the league on goals for either. Or is it goals for?
they would if they scored. Oh no, not even if they scored 19. You're
No.
correct. So they'd have to win 20-0, but or have Worthing lose 20-0. But Salisbury as well won their last game after losing 3 in a row. The 3 in a row were against Tonbridge, they are Salisbury, Tonbridge, Weston, and Totton, and they beat Horsham. However, I don't see Salisbury getting a result out of this. They are safe from relegation, of course, but they can still finish down in 20th. And that is why I have gone for Hemel Hempstead 1, Salisbury 0. As well, Hemel Hempstead really don't seem to score a lot of goals, so I don't imagine they'll put many past Salisbury. So, the next game is Hampton and Richmond Borough versus Enfield Town. And I have got Hampton and Richmond 2, Enfield Town 3. Now, yes, Enfield are already relegated, but they did win their last game against Slough. Hampton and Richmond as well just lost to Ebbsfleet. They haven't won since a win over Farnborough, and it's just really not been looking good for them recently. They drew to Chippenham as well. And I just think, they've got nothing to play for. They are safe. Enfield, I mean, it means nothing, but they could finish 21st, I guess. They can't drop any lower in the league. They'll just want to end the season with a good result so they can kick on in, I believe they will go into the Southern Premier South. But yeah, I just don't see Hampton really playing for anything, and I could see them going 2-0 up and dropping completely, but it's just such a nothing game.
So I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Hampton. I think Enfield will stay competitive and they will cause problems, but I think Hampton are a bit more settled. Obviously, I think, if I'm correct, a couple of their players play in Borough League, but that might be wrong because obviously in the National League recently there's been a few cases of players getting into trouble for playing in Borough League, getting their contracts terminated, which is a bit unfortunate.
I mean, if it's in their contract.
But I think Hampton are just a bit more settled than Enfield, and that's why they'll take the victory in this one.
As well, one thing I do want to mention is, if you remember Enfield Town, they did have an incident with their goalkeeper. And I genuinely don't know what happened as a result of that, but their goalkeeper did punch a fan. Oh. So, yeah, during the match. But I'm sure that will be covered in the off-season news. Yeah. But yeah, Will, do you want to move us on to the next fixture?
So, next up is going to be Dover Athletic versus Chesham United. And I've gone for a 2-1 win again. There's a lot of these. And the 2-1 wins for Chesham. Obviously, if we look at the away table, Chesham are the 6th best team away from home. Whereas Dover are 23rd.
Rubbish.
23rd on home. So, yeah, I think the away form's going to help Chesham here. They'll be way more effective with their chances. Definitely doesn't feel one-sided, but small differences are going to be the key in this one.
I mean, you said you don't think it's going to be one-sided. I, on the other hand, think it's going to be a bit of a demolition. I've gone for Dover Athletic 0, Chesham United 3. You look at the situation Dover are in. They're 20th on 49 points, 5 losses in a row. Chesham, yes, they've lost their last 2, but they're against Chelmsford, who were pushing for promotion. And okay, they did lose to Bath. Okay, yeah, my point's a bit invalid now, isn't it? But
they've got a good ferry station. They've got a good ferry port.
Dover have a very good ferry port, but
unfortunately,
I mean, it doesn't win your leagues. No, who have Dover lost to? They lost 1-0 to Maidenhead, 3-1 to Farnborough, 4-0 to Ebbsfleet, 2-0 to Maidstone, 2-1 to Salisbury, and yeah, that's why I think Chesham are just gonna, head down to almost France and get a 3-0 win.
Well, if you had a league table of closest distance to a ferry port, then Dover would win the league.
I don't think they would. I think Grimsby win the league. Well.
Well, is Grimsby closer to? Grimsby doesn't have a ferry port, does it?
Pretty sure it does. Yeah.
I think it's on the other side.
It might be on the other side.
Yeah, the better side.
Eastbourne, they've got a close ferry port.
They'll be in the pole spots.
Yeah. Anyways, speaking of Eastbourne, they are our next fixture. Chelmsford City versus Eastbourne Borough, and it has to be said, what happened to Eastbourne Borough? Because last season they finished 3rd in the league, only 1 point off the title, and now they've finished bottom, 16 points from safety. And that's only as it stands. Of course, Chelmsford close to being able to fight for promotion, but they're not close enough. They're 1 point outside of being in that fight. But I've still gone for a Chelmsford 2, Eastbourne Borough 1, because quite frankly, I do not see Eastbourne getting a result if they're gonna. I mean, they've not won in their last 5 at least, and that included a draw to Bath.
Well, I've also got the same result, a 2-1 win for Chelmsford.
You beat all of yours are 2-1.
No. I've had some 2-1s, 1-1s, 2-0s,
yeah,
and 2-2s, and there's only 12 games, and I can't give 4-0s, 5-0s, 8-0s here, there, and everywhere.
Well, 8-0s.
8-0s. So we'll get onto that.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2-1 Chelmsford.
There's not really much to say. It's another nothing game.
Terrible game.
I don't think either of them can move position in the league. Oh well, Chelmsford can get 8th or 11th. Eastbourne and rock bottom. But yeah, do you want to take us on to the next fixture?
So the penultimate game for this game week is going to be Bath City versus Maidstone United. Obviously, the Stones getting a new manager. I think.
Was it new manager or new assistant?
Oh, new manager. Craig Fagan's took the job now.
Is Craig Fagan taking it now?
So?
I thought before you said he was assistant manager.
No, he's been promoted from inside.
Oh, right. And of course, you will very much know that name.
Yeah.
If we're going to reveal your club.
140 games for the Tigers. So what a great guy he is. Obviously.
Have you gone for a Maidstone win by any chance because of that?
I haven't. Because I think it's going to take more than one game for anything to happen. So I still think he's going to get a result. Oh, the cameras have gone grey again. There we go. So I do think he'll get a result. I think it'll be a 1-1 draw.
That result, though, not enough for Maidstone because they need a win to even have a chance at playoffs, and that's.
Yeah. I don't know why they got rid of the manager before the season's even ended.
Yeah, with one game to go.
Do they want the new manager bounce going into the playoffs if they get there?
Yeah.
But yeah, a draw
Wait,
feels good.
yeah, I mean, I've gone a bit different to that. Well, did you say your score?
1-1.
1-1, yeah. I've got Bath scoring a goal. Of course, they did just win against Dorking as well, who are second in the league. I do see them potentially going 1-0 up, but I ultimately see Maidstone winning the match out. They've won 4 of their last 5, which includes beating Hornchurch. Hornchurch and Worthing they've beaten. They've beaten the top 2 in the league in the last 3 games. I can't see Bath City holding off that force, and I've gone for Bath City 1 and Maidstone United 3. But moving on to
Okay.
the final game of the National League South season, we have got AFC Totton versus Farnborough FC. I have gone for AFC Totton 2, Farnborough 0. I think it is the most nothing game of the lot. Totton 5 points off of going up a position. They have won 3 on the bounce though, which I think is the best in the league. Yes, it is. Farnborough, they have won 2 games in the last 3, but they were against pretty rubbish sides, and they lost to Hampton and Richmond. But yeah, I think it will just be quite an easy 2-0 win for Totton.
So I've gone for a Desmond. Gone for a 2-all draw.
Ooh.
I think the game's going to be very, very open, but the score will not be wild. I think it'll be a very low scoring open game. Obviously, both going to get 2 goals, in my opinion. Yeah, not much.
Yeah, there's really not much to say with a game like that, is there? But I mean, there's nothing for either team to play for. Farnborough are safe, and Totton cannot get the playoffs. They're 11 points off the playoffs. But yeah, that concludes the National League South fixtures. And shall we reveal what the order just for our top 7 is after our prediction? We'll go 7th to 1st.
We not want 8th, 9th,
Yeah, right. Yeah, let's go with
10th.
9th.
Wait, but
Not, it's just 9th that are
just 9th.
potentially there. So you can start. Who have you got in 9th place and on how many points?
I've got Chelmsford in 9th place on 76 points.
So Chelmsford jumping Maidstone. I've got Maidstone 9th on 77. In 8th, I have got Dorking Wanderers dropping from 3rd to 8th, and they're going to be on 78 points.
I've got Maidenhead in 8th on 76 points.
Of course.
And then in
Then,
7th,
yeah.
the last playoff spot is going to be taken up by Dorking Wanderers on 78 points.
And I have got Torquay United on 78 points. In 6th, I've got Maidenhead United on 79 points.
In 6th, I've got Ebbsfleet United on 78 points.
Ooh. In 5th,
In 5th, I've Hemel Hempstead on 79 points.
in 5th, I've got Weston-super-Mare on 80 points. And then in 4th, I have Hornchurch on 80 points.
Whoa! In 4th, I have Weston-super-Mare on 80 points.
Yeah.
So, top 3. These 2 go, the 2nd and 3rd go automatically to the semi-finals of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
In 3rd, I have Torquay United on 80 points.
In third, I have Ebbsfleet United on 80 points. And in second, I have Hemel Hempstead Town on 81 points.
In second, I have Worthing on 82 points, which means the winners of the National League South will be Hornchurch with 83 points.
And my winners are Worthing on 81 points. But first to eighth on mine, separated by 3 points.
Well, first to eighth on mine separated by 7 points. So
yeah,
that's a bit more open. But once you get into seventh, my gap from seventh to first is 5. So still close.
My gap from seventh to first is also still 3. I got fifth to first is 1 point. So
Maidstone and Chelmsford missing out on 2 points, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Chelmsford were looking like they could. I mean, they were having an incredible push at one point and looked like they could win the league. But that concludes the National League South. Yeah. Next up,
North.
National League North.